Hello, I want to welcome everybody today to the Michigan Nonprofit Advertising Trends and Grants webinar. I am your presenter and host for the day. My name is Don Rulo, and I am presenting today on the behalf of Updentity. We welcome you, and we hope this information is helpful to you from the get-go. From day one, we hope the information we share can help you and your organization achieve its goals, missions, and get the message out. That's our purpose for today. I want to welcome you on behalf of myself and Updentity. I want to share what our agenda is for today to give you an idea of what we're doing so you know how we're going to proceed today. We're going to be sharing the results of the nonprofit marketing study that we did for Michigan and the Michigan nonprofits. Then I'm going to be sharing about some insights on issues facing most nonprofits today, as well as I'm going to be sharing about some exciting grant opportunities for nonprofits. And grants, as we know, is a big part of most nonprofits and what they're doing and the direction that they're going and the help that they need. We're going to be sharing some great information about those grants with you towards the end. A little bit about Updentity. Updentity, we're an international marketing firm, and we help especially nonprofits with their online advertising solutions. We've been in business since 2006. About myself, I have over 20 years of nonprofit experience working in and with nonprofits, specifically in the marketing and strategic planning areas, as well as I'm currently a board member of 2 different nonprofits and actually the president of one. So I kind of know the ins and outs of nonprofits and been around them a long time, so I know what you're going through. I know the challenges and the successes that you encounter in your organizations. Let's start off talking about the marketing study and the results of the study that you partook in. We had a diverse group of nonprofits take part in the study, which was great. So we didn't have just one sector or one group of nonprofits. The information was gleaned from a big group of nonprofits, which is great, various missions and goals. So everybody had something different, again, what they're trying to do, whether it's bring awareness or expand into different places, whether it's a different county, a different countries. Different multiple marketing methods of marketing, and as well as various activities for nonprofits as well. Being online, and this is one of the biggest things we found from the survey and the study, is that being online is part of everyday life. I think we all could agree to that we're all connected in some way. Some of us who are a little older may not like that very well, but it is just part of the life that we have to live now. We are online every day. And over 90% of you from the marketing study shared that you purchase products and services online for your organizations. And over 90% of you do your due diligence to research those products and services that you use online. And that's great. We commend you on that. I want you to know that also not only are you online, connected and doing different things online, but your donors and volunteers are online every day as well. And there's some interesting things I'm going to share about your donors and your volunteers as they're connected with you online and just being online in general. Some of the things that we shared from the study were we looked at the social media, email marketing, direct mail, and telemarketing. We asked some questions about that and how you use those. And here's the information we want to share about those. 92% said that you use social media, and that's great. We should use everything we have available. 72% are happy with the number of followers, and that's also great. We're glad to hear that you're having success. I would probably add that if we had more followers, that would be great too. I'm sure no one would say no to more followers. 58% that responded use email marketing. Again, a great tool to get the information out. But I found this interesting. 100% said that they were not happy with its results. And that can be for a variety of reasons, so we really can't address that. It could be whether it was a blog or a newsletter or something else, or trying to get people to attend an event. But that's something to take note of as well. Also, 58% used direct mail, some direct mail campaigns. Only 20% of those who responded were happy with their results. I think that's also an interesting statistic because we're generally meeting with and connecting with people who are already or volunteers in some way through direct mail, unless, and I think this may have been part of it, we're doing direct mail as in a mass mail to an entire county or an entire city. These people were not on a mailing list, some people that we didn't cultivate or build relationship with. I also noticed here that one of the stats that we had was 100% of the people who responded in our study did not use telemarketing to promote the events or what they're doing or advertise. Kind of found that interesting as well. But I do want to say now that all methods of advertising and marketing have value. Every single one of them has value in what we're trying to do when we're looking at getting our message and our mission out. We spent a lot of time in the survey talking about the website, and your websites particularly, because that's kind of a hub. It's a central hub. Everything either flows out from the website or comes to it. For instance, if you use social media, you may direct people back to your website to find out more information, or the other way around. When people come to a website, you'll say, like us on Facebook, and they'll start to interact with you there. So we know that websites are extremely important to the process of where we are in the 21st century. They really are very important. And an incredible stat, which I thought was great, 100% of those who responded have a website, and that's great. We do find on occasion, to be honest with you, there are nonprofits out there who don't have a full-fledged website, and that's extremely important to have because, again, as I said, it's a hub. Now let's speak really to the lifeblood of where nonprofits are, and that's donations. We know the two things that we really need are donations and volunteers. That's what makes most nonprofits function and function successfully. So let's talk about donations as how they're connected to online and your website. 92% said that they solicit donations online. I thought that was great. I do hear again from time to time as we work with clients that they don't either have a donate button or they don't solicit online. So I commend those who have answered to this that 92% are soliciting online. 73% said they receive less than 5 online donations per month, though. That was one that stuck out to me. A great number of people are getting very few online donations in a month. And hopefully the information that we share today will help increase that number, because that's what we want. We want more people to connect and engage with us online, as well as give online and become a volunteer through online connecting. We also noticed that 50% said that the average online donation was between $26 and $50. That's great. That's a good, solid amount of money to be donating. In other words, there wasn't a lot of people who were just donating $5. So it's good to have a good, solid base of people donating between $26 and $50 when they donate online. And this last statistics I thought was very interesting too. 72%, almost 3/4 of the people who responded said that they all had a donation that was greater than $100. They didn't say how many, but they said there was at least one donation that was given greater than $100 online. I've actually heard of, from some stats that we have, where people have given over $100,000 online, not in a check, not sending it in, not delivering it, but online. And so it's critical to have our online presence and our website able to handle those things. Some more information about using your website. We also asked about promotion, branding, and awareness and how that relates to your organizations. We found that 85% of the organizations use their website to promote their events, which is fantastic. In other words, it's telling them who, what, when, where, and why. When is the event, how much it costs if there's a cost for it, what they're going to do at the event. That's great. We found that over 25%, 27% actually, had a great number of people register online. 50 to 74% of registrations for events occurred online. And that was by far the vast majority of people are doing that online, not in person, not through some other form of filling out a form and sending it in. We also noticed that 28% of those who responded had less than 100 people in attendance at an event. And I know no one would say we want to have less people attend our event. We want more. And so that was pretty interesting, too, that we were in that 100 range, less than 100 range for quite a few organizations. There were very few respondents who said they had in excess of, say, 250 to 300 people attending their events. So we could all use more people at our events. And I can speak from personal experience. As the president of a board, as I said, we're always looking to have more people at our events, and our website is critical in having that happen. About branding and awareness, and those are key. In other words, people want to know, they want to find out what you're doing. They want to know your brand. They want to find out testimonials. I'm going to talk about that later, how important telling your story is. It's so critical to tell your story, and you get to do that online every day through your website. But 90% of you responded said you use your site, your website, for branding and awareness. And again, I commend you on that. 89% have less than 1,000 visitors per month. And depending on the size of your organization, some people might think, well, 200 visitors a month is good for us, whereas maybe having 5,000 wouldn't be enough. And so, again, I don't think anybody would ever say no to more website visitors on a monthly basis, because the more people we have visit, the more people we get to connect with, build relationship with, and then, of course, we get more supporters, whether they be financial supporters or volunteer supporters. And it's all about reaching, connecting, and engaging. Last couple of points about the website, because, again, this is so important. It's your hub of everything you do now. Everything kind of flows through it. Newsletters, 50% of those who responded said they use their website to get newsletter subscriptions in some way, shape, or form. It's click here to subscribe to our newsletter, something along those lines. But 20% of those who are doing it are unhappy with the number of subscriptions they have. Obviously, I don't think anybody would say no to more email newsletter subscriptions, because, again, the more people we can engage with, the more people we can tell our story to, the better success we can have as far as reaching potential donors and supporters. And so there's something that we found of note there. Also, online store sales, we asked a specific question about that in the survey as well. And 20% use their website for online store sales. And I'm very familiar with a couple of local organizations that I've worked with where that's one of their main functions is they have something that they sell to help raise funds. Not every nonprofit does that, of course, but those who do find that of great value. But we did find 80% of those who responded to this survey are unhappy with the amount of sales they have from their online store sales. And really, I think that boils down to traffic. Remember, we went back to the other statistic that said that there was less than 5 donations per month online. I think that goes back to the same thing. The more traffic, the more visitors we have, the better off we are, because that will increase our donations and, of course, our online store sales. Now, what we found through our research, that there was some common activities, all the different activities that happen, whether it's getting subscriptions through a newsletter or online store sales or gaining donations. We noticed this. Most supporters connected online. That was the key. They connected online, and they were directed to a website. And what I mean by directed is, if I were to send an email to you and as a friend, I would say, here's an interesting website. Please go check it out. I would give you the exact name of the website, so I'm directing you to a website. What we have found is most people don't just generically find a website. They don't generically find an organization. They may have found your information on something that's printed and just typed it in exactly the way it is, but they didn't go online and just stumble on it or search for it to find you or an organization. And that's what we want to do. We want to increase that capability and get the message out. We found that the 5 most effective marketing methods, when we gathered all the information that we have, here are the 5 most effective marketing methods used by nonprofit organizations. And again, I want to remind you, all methods of advertising and marketing have value, every single one of them. But in the order that we have here, if you look at the right side of the funnel, you'll see what we're talking about. Online advertising, being online, that does include Facebook, Twitter, social media, but it also includes some more detailed things I'm going to share with you here in just a moment about being online and advertising specifically online. But that's where we can reach the greatest number of people at one time. I guess I'll put it in this vernacular. It's kind of your best bang for the buck because you can reach so many people at one time. And we found that it trickles down like a funnel. Then it's the website. That's the important one after that. Then it's email, direct phone, telemarketing using the phone. It's exactly how it works in the funnel. That's where the success level came in from all the information that we pulled together. And the purpose for the funnel, the purpose for doing all these methods of marketing is the last thing that we see here, and that is to gain supporters, whether they be financial or donors. And again, online advertising is the funnel. It is the big part of the funnel. It reaches out, gains people to know who we are, find out about us, to reach, connect, and engage, and then we can put them in to our email campaigns or our direct mail campaigns and funnel them into maybe our website information of the events and things like that. Now, why do nonprofits generally shy away from online advertising? Get asked that question all the time. What's the value for me as a nonprofit? Well, here's the things that we've found. The reason most nonprofits shy away is simply because they have lack of experienced staff. Many nonprofits, and this may be you may have all volunteer staff. Some have 1 or 2 paid staff members and everybody else is volunteer, so they don't have the experience on staff to actually work with the online marketing. And again, I'm speaking more than just a Facebook or a Twitter or a LinkedIn, talking about some things that are a little deeper than that, and I'll share here just in the next slide or two. Also, limited technical expertise. Again, we can set up a Facebook account or a Twitter account, and a lot of people know how to do that, but when we start getting a little deeper into being online to capture people and connect with them, it takes more technical expertise, and a lot of times nonprofits simply don't have that available. Also, it's the unallocated budget. When we haven't thought about being online, there usually isn't a budget item for that when we set out our yearly budgets. And that's something else that we found. And the last reason people shy away from it is simply the fear of the unknown. I think we could all agree is if we don't know about something and it's completely unknown to us, we do have a little bit of fear of how will this work, and I don't know how to do it, so we have a little bit of fear. But once we know how something works, once we educate ourselves, then that fear goes away, and that's what we're trying to do today as well, is to help take some of that fear away by educating people and letting them know how things work and what they have available to them. Here's a statistic that I really want to focus on just for a minute because I think it's so vital to every nonprofit to know this. 75% of potential supporters go online to determine where to give their time and their money. That's an amazing statistic. They're looking for, they're searching for where to give their time and their money. They're also going online to find answers to the issues of life that they face or for somebody else, and that's your nonprofit. So they're doing on both sides. They're looking at where to give their time and money, but then they're also saying, hey, if I want to get involved in environment, saving the environment and doing my part, they're going online to search. Or if they're trying to find maybe help for marriage or help for addiction, they're going online. We need to be there. We need to be part and parcel with them and hooked together with them online. But here's the problem. We talked about websites because, again, remember, it's that central hub. Things flow in and out of it on a consistent basis. The problem is that most billboards, or most websites, are a billboard in the desert. We can have a fantastic website, bells and whistles, great, all the code is fantastic and it has everything on there. But the problem is if no one connects with us, no one's seeing it, it's simply a billboard in the desert. So the solution is we want to make sure that our websites are a billboard in Times Square. So it's critical to have people come to your website so that they can reach, connect, and engage. And again, I cannot stress enough, from all the information that we've garnered from so many nonprofits, is the fact that we've got to be able to tell our story. And people want to hear testimonials. They want to see testimonials. They want to read testimonials. And they're doing this online because that is now where we're at. In the current technology era that we're in, they want all this available to them, and we've got to be able to do this and meet them where they're at, which is online. Let me give you just a brief idea of how a couple of small nonprofits have gained national visibility that we've worked with to show you the power of not only being online, but actually working online and online advertising and how it can transform things. These two nonprofits that we're showing you here, they're not very large. We picked these two on purpose to show you how this works for even small nonprofits. The Dixie Sternwheeler is a paddle boat, and then there's a community center as well. Both of them had almost the exact same numbers, so we just averaged these to give you the idea and show you how this works. But before we worked with them, they had less than 250 website visitors per week. So that's about that $1,000 1,000 visitors or less per month. But now, after working with them, they're now receiving between 1,100 and 2,100 website visitors per week. That's a 400 to 800% increase in the traffic and the visitors that they're seeing. Again, when we increase the visitors, we're increasing the connection, we're increasing possible donations and volunteers and awareness. They weren't promoting their missions through the most commonly used search tool, which is Google, and that's going to be very vital to the last portion of our webinar today in the last few minutes as we share. They weren't using that tool the way it can be used, and that's where we stepped in to help them. But now that they've done that, they're now promoting their mission to more than 150,000 potential new supporters each and every week. So the question is, how can you increase your online visibility? And that's through grant opportunities. This is the last section of what we wanted to share today in the webinar. There's some exciting grant opportunities that can be available to your nonprofit. Now, most of us, I think, have heard of Google. It's actually a verb now. It's not even a noun, it's a verb. Have you Googled this? Did you Google search this? So we know they're the #1 search engine in the world, but did you know that they actually offer online advertising grants? Now, some people have heard of those. Most people haven't. So I'm going to go from a standpoint of you've never heard of that before and kind of explain how that works. But there is a $120,000 grant available to eligible 501c3 organizations, and that can be you. If that's what your organization is, that can be available to you. That's $10,000 a month to be able to advertise online, get out your mission and your message, and reach new people. It's connected to AdWords, and that's how it works. And again, some people have heard of AdWords, some people haven't, but we're going to pretend, no, you've never heard of them before. But what they are is simply this. When you've gone on Google and you've searched something and you see an ad pop up, you see it up at the top, you see it along the side, and you even see the word sometimes ad. They'll have that word ad there. That's what we're talking about. Google AdWords is connected to the grant. They go together. And this is how Google AdWords works simplified. We've all done this before. We've sat down at a computer and we've simply done a general word search. We started typing things in. The purpose, again, is to reach, connect, and engage. Now, I'm going to use, very quickly through this illustration, I'm going to use the Dixie boat that we showed a little bit earlier. And they were one of those groups that went from less than 250 website visitors to over 1,000 visitors per week. We're going to use them. If you sat down and would type in Google, for instance, Scenic Boat Tour Indiana, as you notice on the right-hand side, that comes up. It says Ride the Dixie, and it has an ad there about the Dixie. So it's very simple. Somebody types something in Google, the ad comes up, and someone can click on that, and then it progresses to the next stage, which is a landing page. And landing pages are critical. They're the in-between point between someone seeing the ad and someone going to your website. It's a landing page. And the reason they're critical and so important and valuable is because this is where you get to direct people to what you're wanting them to see and know about you in a very good way. Instead of them going to your website and having to surf the site and find what they want, you can actually promote exactly what you're doing here on this landing page. And in the Dixie's case, they wanted to make a special offer for a ride on the Dixie, but they were also asking for people to sign up for a newsletter. So they were gaining that information so they could connect with people through a newsletter to keep them up to date as to what's going on, again, to engage with them on an ongoing basis, not just a one-time basis. So that's what a landing page can do. It's not just for email collections. It can be anything. It can be for donations. It can be for an event. You want to increase event attendance. It can be along those lines as well. Now, once they go from the landing page, then, of course, they can go directly to your website and find out all the other information at your website, whether that might be a testimonials or whatever else you may have, contact information, and so on. So from a consumer side, someone searching, it's very simple. They type in a word search with the keywords through Google AdWords, and then the ad comes up. They see the ad that says that's of interest to them. They click on it. They go to a landing page, and then from there, they go to the website. Now, what kind of campaigns and what kind of things can nonprofits do in this process? Well, you can focus those landing pages and the AdWords through the grant maybe to donations, to increase donations, or event attendance, or simply awareness. Maybe you want to direct people to your social media Facebook page. We've had people do that, or newsletter subscriptions, as we just pointed out. Maybe even memberships. That could be like a YMCA or other organizations where they want to increase memberships. So it can be any of these or any other different kinds of campaigns available. This just gives you an idea the grant for and how you can use it successfully. Now, Google AdWords from a consumer side is extremely easy. Again, it's a word search. They click on an ad. They go to a landing page and a website. But behind the scenes, This is where we talked about the technical expertise before. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of things going on with Google AdWords. It can be complex and time-consuming, and just to submit for the grant, anybody can submit for the grant, but just to submit for the grant, it requires the technical knowledge of the Google for Nonprofits, their program. It also, you have to have knowledge of the AdWords campaign structure, because when you submit the grant, it's not just an application. You actually have to do some things with AdWords to get that grant approved. So there's some technical things that you need to know there, as well as the eligibility and grant requirements. So there's a lot of things just for even submitting the grant. Now, once you get the grant, to make the most of it, it requires ongoing eligibility requirements each month. Those things need to be kept up with. Optimization of those landing pages and keywords that we were talking about before, they need to be in sync. In other words, they have to have, the keywords have to be throughout all of those to make sure you get the best results for what you're doing so you can get more traffic to your site. And of course, the last one is, this one always kind of makes me smile, and that is keeping up with Google's ever-changing algorithms. Google has mathematical algorithms in the background to make sure the ads are put up on the screen that you see and so on and so forth, and they have a mathematical formula for that. And those change on a consistent basis. And so you have to be able to keep up with those. And to be honest, without professional assistance, very few nonprofits can actually even get in the game of online advertising, because there is a technical expertise that's involved in this process. Now, we as Updentity, we help people make this easy. We can verify, for instance, we can verify that your nonprofit's eligible for the $120,000 grant, which is that $10,000 a month. We write and submit grants for people. We have that technical expertise and knowledge to know how to do that and what they want. We guarantee grant acceptance or money back. It's as simple as that. There's a guarantee on that. We also create and fine-tune ads for our clients to make sure, again, that they're getting the best response that we can possibly do, and is working with Google. Also, we design those landing pages and make sure those are up to date and change when necessary. We manage all the ads to ensure the grant is spent properly. If you've got $10,000 a month at your disposal, we want to make sure that we're fully utilizing that so you can get the best results. Of course, everything is tracked through Google, and we have all the analytics reports to show you how everything is working and track your success. And something very important too, we also have a 3,000 click-through guarantee per quarter. We guarantee in every quarter you will get a minimum of 3,000 click-throughs each and every quarter. And if you remember earlier in the presentation, we had a statistic that said almost all the nonprofits, I think it was 90-some%, were getting less than 1,000 visitors per month. That's 3,000 a quarter. They're getting less than that. This would simply be doubling that effect, and most likely more. And most likely. So why Updentity? Why would someone want to choose Updentity to work with them? Simply because it's easy, it's guaranteed, it's compliant, it's scientific. See, we specialize in working with nonprofits in their online advertising. That's what we do. We help nonprofits. We have a money-back guarantee. We have guaranteed ad performance. We're Google-certified AdWord experts. And we simply help people save time and money as opposed to going through the process themselves. We can do that for them. All of our ads comply with Google, because we have to comply with their specifications, as well as any IRS specifications. And we have a little scientific method that we have in the background to help optimize all the ad campaigns, again, to get the best results we possibly can. Just a quick review as we get ready to close for the day. All methods of advertising have value. And online advertising is at the top of that funnel, and it's what can fill your funnel. And that's the important thing, is to reach out and get as much attention and much awareness and connect with as many people as possible online, and then we can bring them into that funnel and bring them into the email campaigns that we do, or the telephone campaigns, or the direct mail campaigns. Again, the point is to connect and engage with them so there's trust built, a relationship built, so that they can become supporters, whether that's financial or volunteer. You know, I'm asked all the time, is this the wave of the future? Is online advertising the wave of the future, Don? Well, the answer is no, it's not the wave of the future, because it's here now. 5 or 10 years ago, it was the wave of the future, but now, specifically for here now today. And so we want to remember that 75% statistic I gave you earlier. 75% of the people go online to determine where to give their time and their money. And what we do as Updentity is we simply help people find out if the grant is something that can help them. That's what we do. We find out, you can go to this actual URL here at updentity.com/eligible. I'm going to leave this screen up for a little while. You write that down, and after we're done, you can go and see a quick eligibility check and see if you are eligible, or we'll help walk you through that process ourselves. There's no cost or obligation for that. We would like to chat with you. I'd like to talk with you and find out how this may fit your organization and see if you're eligible and how it may fit you going forward and see what we can do to help you. But the first step is to see if you are eligible for the grant. We need to make sure of that. And then we simply talk and see, what is your goals? What are your dreams? We don't talk about us so much. We talk about you. What is it that you want to do with your nonprofit? What do you want to achieve? What goals do you have? And see if the grant can help you. Again, that's $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year that can be yours to use for online advertising to gain more visibility, more visitors, more traffic. And again, that should correlate back to more people engaging with you to become donors and volunteers. And that's the whole purpose of what we're trying to do, is help get the message and mission out for nonprofits. And so I want to thank you for your time today. Time is your most valuable asset. You can't get it back. Thank you for taking this last 30 minutes with us together. Again, check your eligibility. Make sure, I'll help you with that if you want. You can call me or email me. I'll be here to help you. Again, that's no cost or obligation to do that. We'll chat. And so, again, thank you for your time. I know you're going to have some questions. Please feel free to call or email. I'll be happy to engage with you on any questions you may have and find out how the program would fit you. So, again, thank you for your time. I hope the information was valuable to you today, and I look forward to hearing from you. So have a great day, and I'll leave the screen up a little longer if you need to write down some of that information. Have a great day. Bye.